StudyIQ IAS, अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।
हेलो एंड वेलकम टू StudyIQ। मैं दिव्यांशी और आज मेरे साथ इस इंटरव्यू सेशन में जुड़े हैं एन IFS ऑफ बैच 2018 उत्पल सन्याशी। Welcome sir to StudyIQ and lots of we're very glad that you are here with us in today's session.
I'm glad to be here.
मैं सर के बारे में बता दूं तो he is currently posted in Consulate General of India in Shanghai as consul and आज हम IFS से जुड़ी तमाम बातों के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। We'll also discuss about how sir's journey progressed towards UPSC CSE. तो चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं। सर मैं चाहती हूँ ये जो जर्नी रही है UPSC CSE की वो आप हमें थोड़ा सा बताएं।
तो मेरा UPSC का जर्नी 2014-15 में शुरू होता है। तो 2014-15 में मैं अपने कॉलेज के फाइनल ईयर में था और तब मैं मेरे दोस्त मेरे बैचमेट्स हम सब डिसाइड कर रहे थे कि हम कौन से करियर चूज करना चाहते हैं। तो उस टाइम पे मैंने डिसाइड किया कि मुझे एक ऐसा करियर चाहिए जो मुझे काफी एक्सपोजर दे सकता है और एक ग्लोबल स्टेज में एक काफी एक्सपीरियंस लेने का एक अपॉर्चुनिटी भी दे सकता है। तो उस टाइम पे मैंने जितना भी रिसर्च किया मुझे पता चला कि डिप्लोमेसी इज वन एरिया वेयर दिस इज पॉसिबल। सो देन आई डिड सम रिसर्च। मैंने कुछ रिसर्च किया इंडियन डिप्लोमेटिक सर्विस में और उसके बाद मुझे पता चला कि इंडिया के डिप्लोमैट्स UPSC के एग्जाम के थ्रू सिलेक्ट होते हैं। तो फिर 2014 टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ 2014 और 2015 के स्टार्टिंग में मैंने डिसाइड किया कि ठीक है मैं इस एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपेयर करना चाहता हूँ। तो मेरे फाइनल सेमेस्टर में मैंने शुरुआत कर दी थी और 2016 में मैंने अपना फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट किया। लेकिन 2016 वाले अटेम्प्ट में मैंने प्रीलिम्स क्लियर किया, मेंस मेरा क्लियर नहीं हो पाया। 2017 वाले अटेम्प्ट में मेरा एग्जाम क्लियर हो गया और मुझे रैंक 78 मिला। IFS मेरा फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस था और इसीलिए मैं 2018 के IFS बैच में मेरी भर्ती हुई, मैं एंटर हुआ।
सर जैसे हम आपकी जर्नी की बात करें आज जब अपनी जर्नी को देखते हैं when you look today at your position as an IFS officer representing India at a very global level, so how is the feeling? जो सोचा था उसको accomplish कर लिया है।
Yes, this is just the beginning of my service. Actually, I've spent about 3 years into the service. So the experience so far has had its ups and lows. Like it has been very enjoyable in some aspects. For instance, learning a new language and making friends from all over the world. That has been a very interesting part of this entire experience. But there have been challenges as well. So in IFS, a lot of responsibility is given to you as soon as you start your career. So when I was working here in the consulate and Shanghai went into lockdown in March, April and May. So that was quite a difficult period because we had to handle many consular queries and issues of Indian nationals who are living in the jurisdiction of Shanghai. So I would say that the experience has been mixed. There have been amazing moments of learning, of interacting with people who are very well versed in many different fields, meeting amazing people, and also facing a lot of challenges, which at times I felt that, okay, how do I find a solution to this problem? Because you are at that moment and people are looking up to you and you need to find a solution to that problem. So I think it's important for your personal growth as well. I think this entire experience has only made me stronger. And I'm expecting that similar such challenges will come in the future and I'll get to learn more and be more experienced.
सर जब IFS एज अ सर्विस की बात करते हैं तो बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन लोगों के पास नहीं है कि व्हाट इज डे टू डे रोल ऑफ एन ऑफिसर। तो आप अगर थोड़ा सा वो बता सकें कि हाउ योर डे स्टार्ट्स एंड हाउ एज यू प्रोग्रेस इन योर करियर द रोल्स एंड रिस्पांसिबिलिटीज यू आर बेस्टोड विद।
So after I get into the foreign service, first of all, you'll have to do a language training. You'll have to choose one of the languages which is offered by the ministry. It can be Chinese, French, Arabic, Russian. There are many languages. So after you finish your language training, which can vary from 1 year to 2 years, you get posted in one of the missions, either in the embassy or one of the consulates. So in all the embassies and consulates, there are certain wings. So there'll be a political wing, there'll be an economic wing, there'll be a cultural wing, there'll be a consular wing, there'll be a visa wing. So you are generally posted in one of these wings, and then you are supposed to function as per the rules and requirements of this wing. So let's say you are working in the political wing, then you're asked to prepare reports on major domestic events which are happening in the country in which you are posted, or reporting about that country's external environment and its international relationship with other countries. Similarly, if you're posted in the consular wing, then you'll have to deal with the issues of the Indian nationals who are living in that country. If you are working in the visa wing, then you'll have to scrutinize, analyze all the visa applications which are coming from the nationals of the country in which you are posted in. Similarly, if you're working in the cultural wing, then you're supposed to exhibit and help in propagating the culture of India to audiences all over the world. So every wing has its own functioning. So right now I'm working in the consular and visa wing. So my day, like I go to office at around 9:30, and in the morning, like I'll talk to my staff and ask them that, okay, what are the major cases in consular we have for today? Like Shanghai has just come out of a lockdown. So there are many people who are trying to get consular services like renewal of passport or applying for attestation of documents or applying for a police clearance certificate and all that. So there are certain issues in there. There are certain roadblocks. We try and see how we can resolve those roadblocks. So in the first half of my day, I deal with consular issues. And in the second half of my day, I deal with visa issues. So we also get a lot of visa applications from Chinese nationals who want to go to India for various purposes. It can be for business meetings, it can be for employment, it can be for training Indian personnel, because many Chinese companies, they have invested in India, or to scout new opportunities for investment. So for that, we scrutinize the applications that, whether these are, all the documents are in order, whether the purpose is actually what they are mentioning or not, and whether it's a genuine case or not. So this is how my day works, more or less. Sometimes there are emergency cases, so then we take up the entire day. There might be a consular case where there is an emergency, either a health emergency or some person, he's stuck somewhere, his family is stuck somewhere else. This happened a lot during COVID. So that was the focus at that time, and visa issues were not dealt with as much. Like more focus was on the consular issues. So that is how I spend my day during the lockdown and even now.
So जैसे आपने बताया अलग अलग डिविजन्स हैं और सबके रिस्पेक्टिव काम है, चाहे वो कल्चरल डिवीजन हो जाए या पॉलिटिकल डिवीजन हो जाए. जब भी कोई हैपनिंग आपकी कंट्री में होती है, हाउ इट इज रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द अदर कंट्री वेयर यू आर पोस्टेड एंड your line of action is decided?
So actually these kind of issues are brought to the notice of the ambassador or the consul general. So he will have a conversation among all the senior officials, and then they will decide a plan of action.
So जैसे थोड़ा सा unusual happening की आपने बात की थी, Shanghai went into lockdown. So how Consulate General of India was working there, किस तरीके से Indian nationals उनको approach करते थे, and when a massive missions like Vande Bharat is organized, किस तरीके से embassies coordinate करते हैं, officers का role किस तरीके से होता है?
So I'll answer the first part of your question about the Shanghai lockdown. So when Shanghai went into lockdown, we first liaisoned with the local government agencies. There is a Foreign Affairs Office, and Shanghai municipal government has many different bodies. So then we understood the exact structure of the lockdown. कि कितने time के लिए lockdown रहेगा, या इस lockdown का nature कैसा होगा, whether it will be a hard lockdown or a soft lockdown. And based on the information we got from the authorities, we issued a notice on our website. And we also knew that we will not be able to provide consular services. So in our notice, we mentioned that people who are in urgent need of consular services, they may approach the embassy. So for the period when Shanghai was in lockdown, embassy was accepting the consular applications. So that is how we tried to work among all the different offices here in China to ensure that the people, they are as less inconvenienced as possible. Obviously, like, it's impossible to provide services which are 100% which are among the best, which is the best. But we tried our best to ensure that people, at least the emergency services, they should get it with as little inconvenience to them as possible. Yes. So when we get directives from the headquarters about massive projects or missions like the Vande Bharat mission, so all the offices in a country, all the embassy as well as the consulates, they have a meeting among themselves that how to coordinate the mission. And secondly, the officers, the leading officers, the ambassador as well as the consul generals, they designate certain nodal officers who will be handling the mission in the respective mission, in the respective office. And then a staff is given to this officer, and he then talks to the different authorities present in the officer's jurisdiction. So let's say in Shanghai, I was not here when the Vande Bharat mission happened. It happened in 2020. So at that time, my seniors, they had liaison with all the officers in Shanghai who were dealing with the movement of people and also understanding the COVID protocols, how the local CDC is implementing the policies. And based on that, we devised a policy to ensure that we can bring back people back to India.
So, जैसे आपने बताया कि अभी तक सिर्फ 3 साल हुआ है, but it has been a roller coaster ride. Ups and downs रहे हैं. One of the most memorable, challenging, आपने एक Shanghai lockdown बताया. Any other thing that you would like to cherish from the very first experience of your service till the eternity?
I think the language training, that was a good experience, because during language training, you meet a lot of people from all over the world. Learning a new language, that is always an amazing experience in itself. And also, since you get to learn a different culture, and you also get to learn not only one, but many different cultures. And you get to travel as well. You have some time to travel as well. And I think the responsibilities are comparatively less compared to when you are working in the mission full time. So there is that sense of freedom and also that opportunity to travel. But then unfortunately, in the past 2 years, COVID has stopped any sort of travel. So I think that is something which I regret as well. But now things are opening up. Things are relaxing. In most of the world, people have already been vaccinated, and most countries, they are now going for a more open policy. I think the remaining countries will also decide that, we have to somehow live with the COVID. And I think traveling will become easier again. So
it is said that in IFS officers have the best quality of life amongst all the services that UPSC offers, with postings in different countries, and is how relevant or how true it is.
Yeah, it actually depends on what you expect from the service. So for me, exposure was always a very important priority. And I felt that IFS will give me the kind of exposure which maybe other services might not be able to give me. But then it also depends on, what kind of work you want to do and what gives you satisfaction. Someone might get a lot of satisfaction from working at the grassroots level. So for them, maybe the administrative service makes more sense. Then someone might be more interested in understanding the security apparatus of a country and ensuring that the basic security needs of people are maintained. For them, maybe police service is a better option. Someone might be more interested in understanding how the tax system works or how the revenue system works. So for them, the revenue service might be a better option. So it depends on what you expect from the service and what are your expectations from life.
हमने IFS as a service की काफी सारी बातें कर ली. पोस्टिंग्स की थोड़ा सा और जानना चाहेंगे कि किस प्रकार से IFS ऑफिसर की पोस्टिंग होती है अलग अलग कंट्रीज पे, कब वो इंडिया भी आ सकते हैं एज अ पार्ट ऑफ देयर जॉब.
तो पोस्टिंग्स फॉरेन सर्विस में एक बॉडी डिसाइड करता है. उस बॉडी का नाम है फॉरेन सर्विस बोर्ड. और इस फॉरेन सर्विस बोर्ड में काफी सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स रहते हैं हमारे सर्विस के. सो देन when they ask for your preferences, they will basically ask for your preferences, like where would you like to be posted. So based on the preferences you have filled in and based on the vacancy in those locations, you are assigned a post, you are given a post. And generally after one posting, you have to go back to India and do a posting in the headquarters.
Sir, हमने IFS as a service की काफी सारी बातें कर ली. Now back to a little preparation tips from you. जब भी एक aspirant prepare करता है, how to understand the demand of the examination और अपनी interest को किस तरीके से incline करें with the demand.
Yes, I think the basic requirement of this exam is that a person should have an overall knowledge about the major issues of our country in the past, present, as well as in the future. So if you go through the UPSC syllabus, I'm sure that since the time I gave my exam and till now, there might have been some changes. But overall, I know there are some broad areas in which the UPSC syllabus has been designed. There'll be polity, there'll be governance, history, geography, international relations, economy, science and tech. Then there is an ethics paper as well. So, like, first of all, I think it's important to create a bigger map in your mind that which areas you're supposed to be good in. Which areas I wouldn't say good, but I would say that, which areas you should have a mature understanding about. Like if there is a conversation about governance happening, or if there is a conversation about polity, you should be aware of the basic clauses of the Constitution, the basic articles of the Constitution, and the structure of the Constitution. If there is a conversation about governance, you try and understand how the governance system in India is set up. What is the role of the president? What is the role of the prime minister? What is the role of the governor, the chief minister? If there is a discussion about economy, then you try and understand the structure of the Indian economy, how it has been set up, and since independence till now, what are the various changes which have happened in the economy. So once you get the overall idea about the different aspects of these topics which are mentioned in the syllabus, then you can connect these topics. And once you learn how to connect, let's say, polity with economy, or geography with international relations, or ethics with governance, or history with science and tech, once you learn how to connect all these topics and connect in a very lucent manner and in a mature manner, I think that is when you reach the stage where you'll be able to write an answer which will seem that, okay, you have done some thinking and you have done some research, and it will not seem haphazard and random. So reaching that stage, that requires time. It took me 3 to 4 years to reach that stage. Some people, they do it very soon. Some people, for them, it takes much longer time. But in a nutshell, I would say that, understanding the UPSC syllabus, understanding the basic themes in these different topics in the syllabus, and having the capability to interconnect these topics. That is the basic requirement of this exam.
सर, हमने बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट की तो बात कर ली है. मैं पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट के बारे में बात करना चाहूंगी. Whenever a question is put to you, किस तरीके से एक balanced opinion देना है with the all information that you have gathered during your preparation?
देखिए, हर टॉपिक का 2 फेस रहता है, और जब आप एक एस्पिरेंट, आप जब इंटरव्यू पैनल के सामने बैठे हैं, तो आपसे एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है कि आप एक बैलेंस्ड आंसर देंगे, आप किसी एक तरफ नहीं झुकेंगे. तो ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट होता है अपने माइंड में समझना कि कोई एक इशू है तो उसके बहुत सारे फेसेस होंगे. तो आप खुद, हम सबके अंदर बायसेस रहते हैं, लेकिन हम जब अपना ड्यूटी कर रहे होते हैं तो हम लोग अपने बायसेस को कंट्रोल में रख के अकॉर्डिंग टू लॉ हमें अपना ड्यूटी करना पड़ता है. So that is what the interviewer also expects from you, that, okay, you might have preferences, you might have some thoughts of your own, but as a public servant, when you are dealing with the public, you have to be neutral and you have to act in a way which is in accordance to the law. In some cases, obviously, you can have an opinion, और interview panelist आपसे पूछेंगे कि आपका खुद का opinion क्या है इस चीज पे. And I think in those issues, it is better to stick to the Constitution, because Constitution is the basic law, और Constitution के fundamental rights, fundamental duties, सारे जो articles हैं, so they provide the basis on which the thinking of a civil servant should be aligned with.
I think it's a very valuable situation because a lot of time board instigates you to put your analysis, put your opinion, and in that case you must stick to the constitution and the laws which constitution gives to you.
Yes.
So we are towards the end of the session. कुछ final tips suggestions सभी aspirants के लिए?
Tips and suggestions. So this exam, you'll have to understand that it tests the basic knowledge of a person and the capability of a person to interconnect the different topics in the exam. ये in-depth knowledge आपका चेक नहीं करता. तो in-depth knowledge अगर चेक करता तो ये एक स्पेशलिस्ट एग्जाम होता, जो कि ये नहीं है. दिस एग्जाम इज फॉर अ जनरलिस्ट. तो आप अपने प्रिपरेशन के टाइम पे एटलीस्ट ये जो मैंने गलती की थी अपने फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में, मैं सारे टॉपिक्स में काफी एक स्पेशलिस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव से मैं देख रहा था. So that requires a lot of energy, and when you become a specialist in one topic, there are other topics which you will miss out on. और जो interconnection बनाना topics का वो भी आप नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो try and understand the fundamentals of every topic और उनको connect करने की कोशिश कीजिए. So that shows your creativity and the fact that you can think out of the box.
I think it's a very valuable suggestion where aspirants will take it as a new reflection in their preparation. Ki examination is a generalistic approach. You do not have to become expert in any topic. Rather, you have to connect, interlink the topics and study for the examination. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us in this interview session and for speaking about various aspects of IFS as a service and UPSC preparation. Thank you. The entire team wishes you good health, good luck.
StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल.